The real property, probate, and trust law section is the largest in the Florida bar.
The section has 10,700 members. We have more than and we're growing by the day. And the reason we're doing that is because of the good work that the section does.
That strength in numbers is powerful as a united voice. And while the size of the section can be intimidating, members go out of their way to embrace new rank and file.
They were very welcoming, and they said, we want to hear people's opinions from different backgrounds, because they said it made them better lawyers. It made them better people.
It really is, I think, a sense of trying to pay it forward with the group here. We've all been there. We all walked into that room and said, gosh, I don't know anyone. I don't have the decoder ring. I don't know the secret handshake.
Shonda Brown is a new lawyer and new member of the RPPTL section.
I had emailed Mike a couple of days ago, I think it was, and I was telling him the transition from law school to taking the bar exam, and now in practice, it's, trying to find like my niche.
Mike invited her to the 32nd annual meeting and took her under his wing.
But I've met so many friendly people, and they have opened their arms to be helpful, and that's comforting, especially trying to navigate my way through it at this point.
The section is well known for its collegiality.
The members work well together. It's a warm group that I think anyone who becomes involved in it creates strong relationships and good friends, and it is not just an educational experience, but it's a very warm personal experience as well.
Mentoring has always been a valuable resource to members. Many just reach out and tap the great pool of legal minds.
I have never had a bad experience. There's nobody that you don't call and they don't call you, that you call and they don't call you back, or you email and they don't email you back. Everybody is always more than willing to help you no matter what it is. Or if they can't help you, they'll tell you who can.
I like to call them more senior statesmen as my mentors, because I'm not shy. I have no problem if I understand that this person is the expert in this area of law and I've got a question about that area, I will ask that person. So I've actually come in with the attitude that the entire section is my mentor.
Very bright lawyers among the leadership of this section are more than willing to help.
I have a whole section of people that I can call to say, hey, what do you think about this? And that type of accessibility to people who are trusted, smart lawyers is just an unparalleled opportunity.
The economy has impacted the number of large firm and public sector jobs.
It's led to a lot of lawyers, in particular, diverse lawyers who have had to hang up their own shingle and go into private practice. That creates special challenges because of the fact that you do not have the mentoring, the skill set, the maturity to operate such a practice at a young age. And it necessitates the need to put yourself in a system, a network that can help develop the skills that are going to be essential to your success as a lawyer.
Especially as a solo practitioner, I don't necessarily have a partner or a colleague always across the hall to bounce issues off of. And so when I got involved with the section, it immediately gave me a class of people who face the same issues that I do on a daily basis, who have done it far more often than I have.
The official mentoring program matches seasoned and young attorneys in the same geographical area for 1 year.
We're going to help you in that tough situation when you don't know what to do, maybe from an ethics standpoint, and those things happen all the time. And I think it's especially beneficial for a young solo practitioner who doesn't have somebody else in the firm that they can bounce things off. They've got a seasoned lawyer who actually cares about them and is going to try to lead them in the right direction. It sounds to me like you've handled it appropriately. I mean, this is one of the difficult things to do. You have family members exerting pressure.
Not only do my mentors give up their time to educate us and hold our hand if we need to, but I think at the same time, us being young attorneys have a lot to offer the mentors as well. So in a way, we're just bridging the gap right there.
Young lawyers can also apply for the fellowship program, which includes scholarship money. The section chooses 4 attorneys who qualify, typically 2 from the Real Property Division and 2 from the Probate and Trust Law Division.
The program pays $2,500 a year for 2 years for attorneys to travel around the state going to section meetings.
It was a tremendous honor to be awarded the fellowship, but not only that, I was provided an opportunity to attend the 4 quarterly meetings that the section has throughout the year, throughout the state.
I've already been assigned a seasoned attorney to become my mentor. At the same time, I've also been matched up with a past fellow that can kind of show me the ropes going forward.
Through the fellowship program, you get to meet the other fellows, both past and present, and you kind of mentor each other.
And we're only as good as our youngest member, so if we can't continue to build leadership, we won't have leadership. So we just felt like it was an important investment.
The membership fee is only $60 and has a huge return on investment in benefits and resources.
You get discounts on all reptile CLE programs, so whether you're attending live or recorded programs, you get discounts on those. And in addition to that, as a member, you get access to the member side of the website, which has a lot of resources posted on it.
And this section typically has between 15 and 20 CLE programs a year. And if you attend one or more of those, you've paid for your dues.
I think it's well worth it. It's a wealth of opportunities as far as just meeting people who do so much stuff. And, I think it's great for a growing lawyer to kind of help build their career.
Professionally, of course, it's helped assure that I have the cutting edge information so that I can represent my clients to the highest levels of excellence. At the same time, it's allowed me to mature professionally so that I can present matters on behalf of and to my clients so that they are represented appropriately.
You get a lot of bang for your buck. First of all, the section has a publication that comes out quarterly called Action Line. And Action Line has case summaries on both the real estate, probate, and trust and estate side. It had practical articles, practice tips.
The amount of contacts that I have made and can make and hopefully will continue to make, I can't get that anywhere else.
We do so much work here, we can't do it without lots of people. So the more people we have, the better it is, because the more work we can get done.
Contacts with the people that are the best and the brightest across the state of Florida in the area of law that I practice.
The section has more than 40 substantive committees. Volunteering time in one or more committees often leads to greater opportunities in the organization.
One of the most important things that the section can do, especially for young lawyers as you're coming up, is to really give you opportunities to do things like write articles and to be involved in CLEs and those type of things, which really foster developing your credibility and reputation as an attorney in your subject matter area.
It's really those committee meetings where I've learned so much, from issues that I face on a daily basis to issues that I may not face as frequently, but inevitably I may come across in the future.
I learn information at those sessions that I can put into my practice immediately.
There are so many committees that whatever your practice area is, we have a niche for you.
And everybody's very encouraging and, oh, great job, or you should do this, or think about that, or, can you write an article, or would you mind speaking? And it's just, it's incredible how much people trust you and want to be a part of your career.
One of the most important roles of the RPPTL is drafting new legislation and lobbying the Florida legislature.
During the last legislative session, there were about 2,100 pieces of legislation introduced for Florida's legislature to consider, and of that, Only about 225 measures actually passed.
I think that one of the benefits of the section is its size. Just by the virtue of we have two very large practice areas, I think that gives us an advantage. We have been very fortunate that we have so many active committees reviewing legislation, producing legislation, and because of that, we have had also the economic resources to engage lobbyists and to have an extremely active and successful legislative program in Tallahassee.
We're simply trying to do what is good for people, what is good for the state. We're not trying to do what's good for lawyers. We're not trying to do what's good for interest groups.
Things like the legislative update, which is the really premier event that I've been attending since I was a very young lawyer. So you stay current as a member of the section on those things that are in your practice area.
You know, I've had the opportunity to sit down with the people that are on the front lines of writing the changes to the law. And the ones that have seen the law evolve over the past few decades.
If you participate in this section, you're going to know about issues as they arise, and you'll know how to deal with them and to plan for them in your practice.
Lawyers in the section give back to their communities with pro bono work. That dedication and commitment dates back decades.
We've responded in the wake of hurricanes 20 years ago. Hurricane Andrew, the section was very involved in providing services to over 30,000 people.
The depth of resources in this prestigious section helps develop standards for ethical and competent practice. The education, the contacts, and the professional relationships provide practitioners opportunities to become the best they can be.
That as a young lawyer, the most important thing you can do is surround yourself with people who are dedicated to practicing at the highest level of the practice.
I spend zero money on marketing budgets because I have more referrals than I can handle just from section members alone. So it can definitely make your practice.
Where else can you pay $50 and talk to the people that are arguing the cases in your practice area in front of all the district courts of appeal, the Florida Supreme Court, and in some cases even the U.S. Supreme Court?
To me, it's invaluable because it's the expectation from the client base, particularly the sophisticated client base, is that you are current, you are aware of all the cutting edge changes, not just the ones that have just occurred, but those that may be on the horizon in your planning.
When you're involved with people who are engaged in their practice, love what they do, are trying to be the best that they can be in their area, it's very gratifying.
The ability to interact with really experienced, very successful trust and estate and real property lawyers, the contacts you make, and just the whole, raising of the level of professionalism that actually goes on in this section. It's an amazing thing, really.
The Florida Bar, frankly, and this section in particular, have some of the greatest legal minds. It's a very collegial group. It's extremely welcoming. I would venture to say that if you come to a meeting, stick out your hand, introduce yourself, you're going to be hooked.
And the reptile section they're taking the lead, if you will, among sections with diversity programs, with fellowship programs, inviting people within their ranks for that experience of networking, for mentoring, which every lawyer needs it, particularly those that are breaking into the practice. It can set you on the right path early, which I think is going to lead to more success down the road.
The Real Property, Probate, and Trust Law section. Leaders with experience and knowledge ready to share. Lawyers prepared to mentor the leaders of tomorrow while protecting rights, pursuing justice, and promoting professionalism.